Hey, this is Andy, and I just wanted to tell you something that happened a couple days ago at work. I wasn't paying attention, and the time came up for me to do my tour, and I had a short amount of time to do it, so I had to do it pretty quickly. And in my haste, I popped two buttons off of my shirt, and then it got me to thinking how important sewing has been at certain times in my life. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got started sewing and why it's important. First off, little sewing kits. Most of the time I get them from a hotel. They have the little ones. Go ahead and take it. It's free. You already paid for it with the room, so you might as well take it. And they're so nice to have. When I was in the military, in basic training, we'd be popping off buttons every day in training all the time, and we get back, and of course if you had a button undone, you're gonna get everybody smoked, so that wasn't fun. So I kept grabbing little sewing kits, and I've had them in each bag, my rucksack, my duffel bag, my truck, my go bag, just about everywhere I go, because you never know when something's gonna happen. Twice I've been to weddings, and I have been the hero because I had a little sewing kit and something needs to be sewn back in place. You're not going to notice on the bride's gown. They're not going to notice it from the back pew or anybody unless you're really scrutinizing. But to her, it was everything. So a quick 5-minute stitch, you fix everything, and you're all of a sudden a hero because she looks perfect, and it's just a good feeling to help somebody out. I started sewing in 7th grade. Miss Polson, we had to take one semester was home ec, and the other semester was wood shop. And we had to do it. Everybody had to do it. But so I learned how to sew. Great? No, not great at all. But I can sew a button. That's all that really matters. Like I said in the intro video, it's like Bruce Lee. Take what is useful, discard what isn't, and make something that's uniquely yours. I don't need to do hidden stitches or sewing patches or something like that. I leave that to somebody who's a little bit more professional, who has a machine, who can do it durable. But in a quick pinch, a button's pretty simple. It's the same process repeated over and over. Let me show you how I do it. Alright, to sew on a button, you're going to need a couple things. To sew on a button, you're going to need a couple things. The buttons, small pair of scissors or a knife, the color thread you need, and a needle. I always stick the needle in the little pouch, one, so they're easier to find because they will go and get lost in that crevice right there, and they are a pain in the butt to get out. So the first thing you do is you clean the site, and you find out exactly where the previous buttons were, which are really easy, and you pull the excess thread off. Really easy. Take whatever color. Most of the time, the best colors to keep are just simply a white, a black, a navy, maybe a beige. Of course, it doesn't want to come out. If you watch the intro video, you realize I am not a professional sewer. So this is why I'm doing these. To help people who just have the basic stuff to knock it out. Alright, now the easiest way to tie the knot so it doesn't slip off the end is to wrap this around your pinky 3 times. And then you scoot it and you roll it off. And it's going to create a little booger knot. That's all you need. This is not fancy. It's not rocket science. It's to tie on a button. Now the tricky part is, of course, threading the needle. Once you do it a couple times, you learn a couple tricks. It's just practice. And then I put it out there so it hangs about 3/4 of the way down to the little booger knot. You find out where the holes were on the other side. You should see 4 holes. You probably can't see it with the white material. And you stick it through. And then you set the button down. And then it's really easy. You just crisscross or find out what the other buttons have on theirs. In this case, it is a crisscross, an X pattern. So then that's all you do on your button. Is just a little X pattern. Sometimes it's easier just to poke it up, lift it up a little bit, and then guide it through the hole until you get the first couple of stitches down. And then once you do it, make sure you don't cross that little extra, the hangover piece of thread. And then just up and down. Nothing fancy, nothing special. There's no trick to it really once you get the knot down. And then you're just sewing. In basic training, I would charge about either $1 or $2 a button. It was a way to make a little bit extra money. We couldn't spend it on anything, but it was something to do. I was doing it for everybody, and eventually I was doing it for just about the entire platoon because buttons popped off, especially after the obstacle course, or got caught on a strap on your rucksack or whatever. It just happened quite frequently. So tie a little button, or tie a little knot, thread a needle. Took about 5 minutes. Could knock about 15, 20 out in an hour, depending on once you get going, because in the military they're all the exact same buttons, they're all the exact same color. You use the exact same type of thread, OD green or black. It worked the same. Drill sergeants weren't inspecting that closely on your uniform most of the time, especially if it was pants. Now on your blouse, not a big deal. And I did not sew buttons on Class A uniforms. That was, yeah, I left that up to for the professional seamstresses off post. And there's always a ton of seamstresses right off a military installation. Oh shit, it was still rolling. Alright, well, let's get the second one done. Hopefully I run. Still have enough storage on here. So I did that, and then, like I said, to do the knot, wrap it around your pinky 3 times.